I mean, among other things, she loves to be able to go out and cook whatever she wants to cook. She's,
Yeah.
it's kind of natural. It's a beautiful thing.
Right, but you were at a store buying some other stuff. Anyway, so, and we're going to get to the book. I want to talk about the book, but just real quickly with what's going on, for a while there was a talk that Oprah was going to run for president. I know that she's not going to run, but you think she would be a great president.
Oh, yes. No, you can trust.
In his explanation of the significance of identity in a relationship, say unclear abbreviation, this may need to be a full name or term, argues that in order to really connect with someone else, one must first master oneself. He also relates how Oprah's strong presence forced him to define his own identity, a process that included both challenges and progress.
One, she's smart.
Yep.
She has a photographic memory.
Mm-hmm.
She works very, very hard. And so she has qualifications to do it, and she's very successful.
Right. Okay, so let's talk about identity leadership. Explain what that is to everyone.
Well, identity leadership is self-leadership, and it's based on the philosophy that you can't lead anybody else until you first lead yourself. So it really is focused on self-mastery, self-efficacy, self-empowerment.
When talking about relationships, in order to demonstrate how desiring the best for one another made a deep connection in a relationship, Stedman highlights the need for mutual support and declares his commitment to Oprah's happiness.
It's the greatest thing I discovered for myself, to be able to work on myself so I can define myself as opposed to having the world define me.
Right. And so how would you say you do that? Because basically you're talking about self-confidence, that you don't let somebody else veer your opinion or who.
Yeah, you don't let someone else put you in the box. So what happens when you can't define yourself, the world defines you by your race, it defines you by your house, your car, your money, your title. It defines you by your gender and tells you can't make it because it's a man's world.
As he considers his own development throughout their time together, Stan says that while sharing life with someone in the limelight might be daunting, it also gave him a chance to recognize and develop his own abilities and interests.
It's kind of socially constructed and designed to control your own development. Mm-hmm. And so I created this process that starts with identity as the foundation for organizing your growth. It allows you to shape your own future. It allows you to understand your talents, your skills, your abilities, and your purpose. So everything starts with a purpose.
Yep.
And then you have to create a vision for yourself to basically organize a vision that's bigger than your.
He openly discusses how labels have the power to define and restrict people. Stedman stresses the significance of escaping social norms, regardless of their connection to one's race, gender, or past.
But you don't think she would at least take the call and
She's
at least
good.
listen?
She is. She could definitely do a great job. There's no question about it.
But
She's smart. She's creative.
I know she
great
loves
ideas. She's a hard worker. She's
right,
detailed.
right. I know she is.
You can trust
she's
her.
the best. Does she at least have to take the call and at least listen and hear him out
She can
and
take
consider?
the call. She could be an advisor. How about that?
She could be an advisor, but she wouldn't. You don't think she would at least consider if he said, "Hey, look, for the."
In fact, she advises.
Stedman openly talks about the pressures of dating someone as famous as Oprah. He admits that her enormous public image may often eclipse his private moments, making it difficult for him to establish his own identity.
I know a lot of suburban
Rockers in office today because of her.
You think?
Oh, no question.
Absolutely.
No question.
I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. I think she's one person.
He was president of the United States because of her. Got other people, but mostly because of her.
But you think they're huge fans of each other. If he calls her up and he says, "Hey, look, Oprah, our country needs you right now more than ever. We're so divided."
No question, she would serve in the capacity, but she's not.
Reflecting on their time together, Stedman talks about how he has had to continuously reinvent himself in the shadow of Oprah's success. He emphasizes the significance of self-actualization and realizing one's own value, emphasizing how important it is to find happiness within oneself, particularly when partnered with a global icon.
She'd be an awesome vice president. I think you'd have to consider her, right?
Vice president. She would be a great president, but she's not political. Her role is to empower people all around the world.
But that's why I'm saying vice president.
He talks candidly about the psychological cost of always being in the spotlight, admitting that there are moments when the demands made of him seem unbearable. Stedman acknowledges that managing their connection often requires a delicate balancing act in which he must constantly encourage Oprah while also pursuing his own goals. Yes, Stedman talks about the emotional burden of living in Oprah's environment where expectations are high, while also admitting the adoration others have for their relationship and pointing out that many see them as a power couple. He discusses how this dynamic has occasionally left him feeling lost and struggling to maintain his own identity. While reflecting on their shared past, he thanks Oprah for her unwavering support but acknowledges that it can come at a cost, sharing times when he felt ignored or unacknowledged, which can be hurtful in a relationship that is frequently viewed through a public lens. He emphasizes the value of communication in their relationship and describes how, despite their strong bond, there have been difficulties.
Stedman is at the guest house because you all know I had pneumonia late last year. And you can still hear the raspiness in my throat sometimes when I talk. And I had just gotten off of antibiotics last week because I had like a bronchial infection. And so Stedman was late to the party, understanding.
He's one of those.
Stedman discusses the difficulties in their relationship, particularly during the epidemic when they had to remain in the guest house for safety reasons. They had to learn how to manage their personal space in new ways due to quarantine. It also brought to light his emotions of loneliness and stress, which forced him to face his own weaknesses.
Stedman was one of those going, I don't see what everybody's getting so upset about.
Stedman.
It's being all fear-based. This is fear-based leadership. That's what Stedman was saying.
That's why he's in the guest house.
And that's why Stedman's at the guest house.
On the Oprah Magazine Instagram, she also gave an update on how he's doing, filming a video of him from outside the house.
He admits, at a vulnerable moment, that he often felt as if he was living in Oprah's shadow because of her celebrity status. Stedman acknowledges that even while he encourages her to pursue her goals, there are moments when he feels ignored and struggles to get credit for his own achievements.
Meals are dropped off. Not bad. We put the meals at the door right there early in the morning. Well, we're locked down here too.
The caption reads in part, quote, although he does not have the virus, the couple decided that Stedman should quarantine separately in the guest house after several recent flights and some...
As he considers how their relationship has changed over time, Stedman acknowledges their intense love for one another while also pointing out that their relationship has required sacrifices. He freely acknowledges that sometimes prioritizing OA meant putting his own objectives and aspirations on hold, which created a complex emotional landscape.
Stedman is at the guest house.
Oprah Winfrey is getting candid about quarantine life. The 66-year-old spoke with Oprah Magazine's Ariana Davis, revealing that her longtime love Stedman Graham is currently quarantined in the guest house amid the coronavirus pandemic. Oprah explained why it is so important for Stedman to keep a safe social distance, revealing she has a pre-existing medical...
He talks about how crucial communication is to their collaboration despite their close relationship. Stedman notes that there have been some misunderstandings. It has taken him some time to learn how to communicate his emotions honestly, but he understands that doing so is crucial to keeping his relationship strong in the face of difficulties.
She recently opened up to Vogue magazine on her career, weight struggles, and her love life, including why she never married her longtime partner, Stedman Graham. She says the only time she's brought up marriage to Stedman was when she asked, quote, what would have happened if we had actually gotten married? And the answer is, we wouldn't be together. She goes on to say marriage requires a different way of being in this world. According to Winfrey, her partner did ask once for her hand in marriage. They postponed that decision and never spoke of it again. The couple's been together since 1986.
Oprah recently spoke about her relationship with Stedman in an interview with Vogue, igniting discussions on commitment. She mentioned that the only time they discussed marriage was when she reflected on what life might have been like if they had tied the knot.
And I would not have been able to fit into that. So you can read Oprah's full interview in the September issue of Vogue. It hits newsstands August 22nd.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.
In an open dialogue, Oprah talked about her relationship with Stedman, highlighting their more than 3 decades together. She shared that although they had considered marriage at one point, she believes their relationship flourished because they decided not to follow the traditional path. Realizing that Oprah was destined for greatness, Stedman reflects on how being in the spotlight has often made him feel overshadowed as he struggled to forge his own identity while supporting her remarkable career. At a moment when he realized that their relationship was changing, Stedman acknowledges that he felt like a supporting character in a story that was always about Oprah. This realization left him grappling with feelings of inadequacy and questioning his own goals in the shadow of her success. He considers the difficulties of being with someone so powerful and admits that, despite Oprah's incredible success, it has frequently come at a personal cost to him. He explains how the intense scrutiny and public expectations have occasionally left him feeling alone and lost within the relationship. Yet Stedman also highlights his deep love for Oprah, acknowledging how special and transformative their bond is. He discusses how navigating the highs and lows of their life together has forced him to grow and ultimately shaped his character in unexpected ways.
Because it's about leadership. But I've got a problem, Stedman, and it's this. Your central premise is that pretty much anyone can become a leader. They can evolve into a leader. I'm not sure I agree with you. I think leaders are born, not made. Persuade me otherwise.
Well, identity leadership, which is the name of the book, is really self-leadership. It's based on the philosophy that you can't lead anybody else until you first lead.
While acknowledging his own accomplishments, such as writing many inspirational leadership books, Stedman discusses the difficulties of being seen as Oprah's other half for more than 30 years and expresses annoyance at being labeled that way all the time.
First lead themselves. And that's kind of hard to do because when you talk about self-mastery, the world's not set up for you to lead yourself. It's basically set up for you to be a follower. You know, most people, they wake up in the morning, they wash their face, they brush their teeth, they get something to eat, they get the kids off to school, they work all day, come home in the afternoon, they spend time with the family, they watch TV, they go to bed, maybe they dream. And they repeat that same cycle over and over. So if you did the same thing you did yesterday as you will do today, as you will do tomorrow.
Connection Stedman remembers a turning point when Oprah asked a hypothetical question about marriage and said that they probably wouldn't still be together if they had been married.